High-pressure fuel and gas pipelines are found all over the UK and generally run in rural areas, which are now becoming urbanised. Generally, there is a 3-metre easement either side of the pipeline that restricts works which may cause damage by digging, fencing and construction works. Pipeline markers are used in the ground to identify the approximate routes at road crossings and land changes. This scenario identifies a fuel pipeline located in the road Verge, which is bordered by land used as woodland and forestry operations. The landowner, Tom, has identified the need to replace the boundary fencing, which is about 3 metres from the pipeline. Having had a previous near miss, Tom undertakes the necessary searches, including LSBUD, so is aware of the proximity of the pipeline. He contacts the pipeline operator and at the site meeting clarifies the method statement where all the works will be carried out from the landowner's own property, but would also inform the pipeline operator when the works would start so that monitoring can be arranged and the aerial helicopter patrols would be aware of known works. Unfortunately, Tom went away on holiday and didn't fully communicate the pipeline requirements with Dick, the fencing contractor, who found a space in his schedule and began working. Another issue was found when Dick came to a point where heavy copse hedging was in the planned line of fencing, so they called in help from another contractor, who was already working nearby across the road. The second contractor would also not have known about the pipeline, since their works were over 50 metres away, and of course was just doing his friend a favour by bringing in a machine to plant fence posts from the roadside. The two contractors went ahead with the works by running a JCB across the Verge, which disturbed the pipeline with the associated ground and making the fence post closer than the 3 metres that had been agreed. Luckily, the works were first shown on that day's aerial patrol and were followed up immediately by Harriet on a road patrol. The works were immediately stopped and measurements confirmed on the proximity of the fence posts to the pipeline. The nearest post was 2 metres away, but the contractor did not appreciate the consequences of A. Working with a heavy machine over the pipeline, or B. The potential damage if the fence post had actually hit the pipeline. It is scenarios like this that Linewatch are trying to prevent. This was a near miss, but it could have been a really devastating scenario. Therefore, it is imperative that we stick to agreed method statements and the associated risk assessments. Communicate the agreed methods and timings to all personnel involved, including contractors. Brief all new personnel contractors of the agreed methods and lines of communication. Constant liaison with the pipeline operator when any changes to methods are proposed. Use load-spreading bog mats or similar when plant equipment is used above the pipeline or crossing it. Make all personnel aware of the consequences of a pipeline breach, especially if working in the area of roads or railways, as these may have to be closed. Make all personnel aware of the environmental penalties of a damaged pipeline breach and the role of the Environment Agency. All near-miss and infringement events form part of annual reports that are circulated to the public and HSE. For more information, contact Linewatch on www.linewatch.org.uk or linewatch@fishergerman.co.uk.